There's nothing more humbling and inspiring
and attractive
than witnessing somebody be truly and uniquely exceptional.
Except, of course, for their journeys. Maybe it's luck.
Maybe it's genetics.
Maybe it's work ethic.
Scott and I wanted to see if we could discover what makes some of the universe's most incredible humans the successes they've become, and ultimately find out exactly how they became
So good.
So good. How did you do it? How did you do it? You're so good.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of You're So Good. Today's guest is one of the greatest singers on the earth, Shoshana Bean. She is a Broadway star, singer, songwriter, and she originated the cast of Hairspray, and then she was the second alphabet in Broadway's Wicked. She also started her own label and released 3 albums. She is so insanely talented, and she is here to talk about her journey. Here we go. I got the countdown.
1.
Oh my God, it's happening. Hi.
Hi.
You
I'm
guys.
so excited.
My name is Scott.
I'm Rozzi.
And this is our new podcast. You're so
good.
And we have one of the best singers on earth. I'm not exaggerating.
That's
One
not
of
an
the best
exaggeration.
singers on earth. She's shaking
planet
her
Earth.
head and I'm mad at her.
Yeah.
Shoshana Bean is here. Singer, songwriter, Broadway actress.
Extraordinaire, inspirational, dream.
I'm working hard to take these compliments. It's cringy.
Well, they are all very true.
so
We saw
true.
Waitress tonight and I cried a lot.
Yeah, it was really,
really-
your voice is just like, it's one of those voices that as a singer, I mean, as a person, I'm just like moved emotionally. And as a singer, I'm like moved to like, it's like classic, you're so good moment.
Where
I'm
you're like a little jealous.
I'm so upset. I'm so happy for you and I'm so upset. It's like both at the same time, you know, you're just amazing.
Thank
So,
you. I
thank you
appreciate that.
so much for doing this.
Thank you.
This is also after her show. She has a show tomorrow. It's 11 p.m.
Yeah.
They bribed me with salads.
Yeah.
So we were like, we'll
Very
get you a
good
kale salad. All right, you guys, it's time for my sweet angel of a boyfriend / our mixologist on the show, Mark Manio, to make a drink.
Time for a drink. Made by Scott's boyfriend. Time to get wasted.
Just so you know, we do a thing every episode where we guess what drink you might be. And
Okay.
so we want you to know that we guessed Veuve Clicquot because you're a fancy, classy queen.
You guys.
And you're like bubbly. This is an entertaining, fun experience.
Yeah,
and
I literally was like, bring the
classic.
nicest champagne.
Yeah.
That's who you think I am, is Veuve?
Oh, yeah.
Like if I were a beverage?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that so much. For so many reasons.
Oh my God, great.
That is thank you.
We nailed it.
Thank you.
Great.
Classy, bubbly.
How
That
is-
I will take.
how is
Not
New
the
York?
other compliments. That one.
How has New York been? How's being back on Broadway?
It's actually been really, really nice.
Yeah.
I've been pro LA ever since I left New York and really didn't have any desire to come back. I'm here a lot just for work and personal reasons too, and so I didn't anticipate being back living here so soon, but it's been lovely. It's just
Yeah, I
the
love
whole
New York.
Waitress experience is like wrapped in this like big bubble of love and goodness. So everything involved with coming here and being a part of the show and it's just been beautiful.
Oh, good.
That's great.
awesome.
Thank you.
This podcast is about people who are amazing at things and finding out how they got amazing. Because it's basically like Scott and I became friends at USC and we bonded over. Yeah, we're old
Like
friends.
10 years ago.
Yeah, we've
What?
been friends
You
for
went
10
to
years.
USC?
For a second.
For like 1 year.
Yeah, neither of us graduated.
Like when I met you?
Yeah.
Were you at
Oh,
USC?
yeah. After class, I came to your show.
Wait, you
As
guys
a-
met at one of your shows?
As a super fan. I went as a fan.
I wouldn't say super fan, just like
But like pretty
Okay.
enthusiastic fan.
That's what I'm secreting for what just happened to us this weekend with Ariana Grande, because I just met Ariana Grande for the first time after our show, and I'm secreting that exact friendship to emerge. Like,
Yes, I manifested it.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is, we've been friends for a long time, and we've always bonded over 2 things. I feel our sense of humor and our love of like drive, passion, setting a goal, chasing work ethic. We've always get together and talk about our dreams and how we're achieving them.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, and so that's
that.
what we were like. Let's
Yeah.
just put our dinners on air.
Our kale salads on air. But that's why we wanted you on the podcast so bad, because that's what you embody. You like start a record label, you've released a bunch of EPs, and you've been like on Broadway, and it's just like, it's extremely impressive, and you have to be a go-getter to get to that point and to be as good as you are at singing.
Yeah, you're so good that it's like you didn't just wake up one
It's
day
a compliment
with that
fest.
voice. Anyway, we'll stop talking because we have this
so
problem.
uncomfortable.
Where we never stop.
No,
I'm teasing. That was that. That's very nice.
She's a humble person, so she's uncomfortable, but it's all true. Anyways, should we start from the beginning? Like,
Yeah,
your journey?
I just want to know like how you first like did you love singing because you were good at singing? Did you become good at singing because you loved it? Like, how did it start?
I sang because I loved music. I started performing because I just wanted to sing. So then it was like my mom put me in dance class and theater and whatever else. I just liked singing, not necessarily in my room or in private. I liked singing for people, for an audience. And I'm still the same way. Like when we were rehearsing for Waitress, and there's performers who just love the process and they love being in the room and working. And I'm like, just get me on the stage in front of the audience. That's where I live, and that's where I come alive and feel like it's my zone of like, channeling or, that's where I like to be. So why did I get good at it? Failure or auditioning for things and not being the one chosen, or I don't know if you remember junior high and high school, but like there being another girl who sings the national anthem.
Totally.
And you're like, what? Like there's always just some.
There's always that girl.
Being an only child, like there was never anyone to stand in line behind, and there was never, of course you're the star of your own family, and I was the eldest grandchild and the eldest cousin, and like there was never any sort of waiting in line or being second best. So when in the real world, when real life happens and I was consistently second or third or, it just didn't work for me. And I just wanted to figure out how to be better, how to be different. And still like, meeting you kids coming up, like, when Luke came into my life and all these other people, I'm like, oh, I gotta, learn what that is and how they're so free with their improvisation or whatever else. Because from the theater, like there's traditionally, you hit your marks and you learn your lines and you sing
It's
the
very
ink on the
specific.
page. And there's no real room for exploration. And then after I, finished Wicked and moved out to LA, and I'm with all these singers and musicians, and I'm like, oh, there's this whole other world of just making it up on the spot.
That's the scariest shit in the world. I crumbled into like a world of insecurity when I moved to LA because of like the Lukes and
Oh, because like runs.
Yeah. And I just I get the most nervous when I'm singing for a room full of singers.
Oh,
you know,
of
those
course.
like we did this like party where all the singers go up, and I love it. I love
Stevie Mackey's house.
I love that because the
Tuesday.
energy in the room is insane, and it's like so fun to watch good singers. But like I will not go up there because I'll be like shaking. It's so terrible.
Singing for singers is the scary. Like at USC, we used to have these classes where you have to get up in front of a room full of musicians. It's so true. It's like there's always, for me, I have a similar thing where it's like I like to have a singular person in mind that's like I'm a fan of, that I like, even if I'm friends with them, but like someone that I think is amazing, that's helping me get better, because I'm like watching them and learning from them and being like, I want to be like, I have that same exact feeling of like, no, I don't like being second best.
Yeah, it's a competitive thing, but it's also like, then now, having done certain things at this point, and also being like, well, I do what I do. Like, I'm not going to turn into Yebo, as much as I wish I could. I'm not really going to be that.
She comes up kind of a lot on the podcast.
A lot,
or Avery, we'll bring up someone else.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be that, but I do, I'm so grateful for social media in that way. I think for a long time I was so scared that I didn't want to know what was going on with other people, because I just didn't want to. It just made me feel insecure, or like I wasn't, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not, I do what I do. I'm not going to be that, but being around them and listening to what they do does seep in and elevate my game. And so I just have like completely opened myself up to being around, and I would never have gone up at Stevie's Taco Tuesday, but we were there at the Grammy and I went up. Like I just, and it's nauseating, but like being around those brave people makes me braver. And
it's respectable. It's cool.
So I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, you
totally
definitely
answered
did.
the question. No rules on this.
No rules on this podcast. No, I would nervous too. Okay, I had some interesting. Oh wait, I had a question that before I forget. So you were just saying that like in Broadway shows you cannot take liberties. It's like really strict. But in Waitress, have you been taking any liberties? Like
I've been
improv?
there a week, and I took 2 liberties, and One was shot down, and which was for good reason. She said, you can do what you want, but it's got to sound like Sarah wrote it.
Oh, who's
the
she?
music director.
Okay.
You can do what you want. It just has to sound like Sarah wrote it. And this one thing you're doing just feels very Whitney. And I was like, thank you. And so I was like, okay, I get that. And then she actually wasn't even there one night, and I got a note that but and I told her, I said, you know what, I don't know what I did, but I do know that I'm a very emotional singer.
Yeah.
And I know when she used to be mine, I'm gonna catch the Holy Ghost sometimes, and something's gonna happen. I'm going to do my best.
Everyone in the audience wants that.
I don't know how I could do like that. I've actually always wondered that, because obviously Broadway is like, it's a little stricter than pop music. Mm-hmm. For me, my best favorite moments singing ever, it's when something kind of comes through me and I didn't mean to sing something that I sang.
Yeah, you're
and
emoting.
So do you feel like you have to fight that?
Yes and no. I think that if I'm staying true to who the character is,
yeah, totally,
then the things that would come out of me would be in line with her
right.
and her storytelling and her way of communicating and expressing herself. If I'm not in that and I'm
right.
just enjoying the music and the moment on stage, and then probably not.
My guess would be as long as it's not like an ego thing, then it should fly. It's like, as
but
long as it's,
when it's feeling good.
Yeah, yeah.
It just feels so good to sing, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's you do have to keep yourself in check, but I'm, lucky that I get put in pop shows where you get to sing that way, but at the same time, like, I got in a lot of trouble at Wicked for going off.
Really?
Is Soulful Sundays a thing? Or is it someone told me once that on Sundays Broadway stars take liberties?
Never heard that.
No way.
No, maybe that's a thing now. I've been gone for 13 years.
Oh my God, I maybe heard that 10 years ago. Oh my God, Wicked. Was that a milestone when you booked Wicked, or was there milestones before that? Or what was the moment where you were jumping up and down, holy shit, stuff's turning around?
I'm a terrible person. I don't do that.
Really?
No. I always find a way to rob myself of the joy.
Jewish?
I am. Are you?
Same, yeah. It's really
self-sabotage thing?
We're just always waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm working on it. I have the gift of this show being another chance to do it differently.
Wow.
Because I look back on Wicked and go you silly, silly girl.
I missed it.
You were so insecure and so worried that you would look like you felt like you deserved it, or that you were good enough to be there. You spent so much time downplaying it and undercutting yourself and saying, I'm just the replacement. I'm not even the first choice for the replacement. That you missed it.
Yeah. Oh, man. I've definitely been through that experience. That's powerful. And I feel like it's what I do is I'll think about what could go wrong a lot, so I prepare myself for it.
You're not even Jewish.
So then you can't be present because you're preparing yourself, because you don't want to be blindsided by the pain.
Isn't that sad?
That's so sad.
I read a book. It's called The Upper Limit. You
yes,
have this.
I read this too.
I love that freaking book. You have this ceiling for joy, this capacity for joy, and so we do things like get sick or think about all the things that could go wrong, or start to worry about something that's not even just to stop ourselves from actually being present and experiencing all the joy. But I've been really conscious, even when I'm on stage, tonight when I'm oh, my voice is tired, and I'm you're on Broadway. Yeah. You're playing this beautiful role, singing this incredible, I try to just be don't do this again.
Those
be
pep
present.
talks in your head are good for me, at least.
Yeah, me
I'm always
too.
hey, you're here, it's happening.
It's true.
Even when I'm a little anxious, I'm you know what? It's all good.
Yeah.
I had Jeffrey Allen, who's both of our voice teacher, basically, I'm such an anxious mess about that stuff. When it comes to my voice, same thing. I relate. And he said to me once, he's you might need to enjoy this.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, you might need to enjoy this. You're singing all the time. You might need to have fun. And I'm and I think about that all the time. I'm I might need to just have fun, because singing is my favorite thing to do in the world.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it's just the smallest switch. I remember we were performing on Jimmy Fallon for a big moment. Can't Sleep Love. It's our single push. They're putting all this stuff into it. This is your big performance on Fallon. And I was so scared I was going to do poorly because it's live. And I was just I was short of breath. And I was just
happened to me exact same thing on Kimmel. I was
I just didn't sing as well as I could. It went fine, but I was just and my eyes are wide, and I'm just not in it. And I remember I was talking to Jeffrey Allen about it, and he was you have, when you're nervous, you breathe less. So he was breathe. When you're on
and breathe out.
TV show, breathe and breathe out.
Yeah.
And then also you have to give yourself a pep talk, this is fun and super cool. And now I do that, and now on TV shows, I'm way better. So it's learning these little things over time are so powerful.
Yeah. The body's a trickster too. It our sweet little bodies haven't really evolved past being super like caveman days. So fear is just like it literally thinks it's gonna die. So it kicks into
Panic.
high anxiety and it's shortness. All those things are like your body literally like I'm saving you. I'm saving your life.
Right.
And it's just
That's
sort
an
of,
interesting way to
I've
think
learned
about
to
it,
be
yeah.
like, okay, this is not, there's not a Bengal tiger. There's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is literally going on television to sing like,
yeah, and I'll be
I'm
singing
not
this.
gonna die. So we are okay. Your body's like
Yeah.
constantly like, are we okay? Are we
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Is something coming to kill us?
I'll be in the car and I'll be singing a song and just like every riff's clean, everything's
Yeah, oh my
happening,
God, of course,
all these
always.
high notes. I'm like,
Always.
where is this when I need
know,
it?
I know.
I'll even be in the studio with Ben, who I'm totally comfortable around, and I'll like be like panicking. I'll be like, what is going on? I'm literally a singer. Just sing.
Totally.
Yeah, it's
No,
it's
being
all
in the
mental.
moment is like a powerful
It is mental.
thing.
Present.
And it's physical is the problem.
Yeah.
Like it's our body. It's not an
Exactly.
instrument outside of us that we can tune up and tighten up to work the
Exactly.
way we want. It's different every day.
Every day, everything you
single day.
eat.
I know.
Everything.
Every
you
hotel
breathe.
room I
Everything
stay
you
in.
feel, the altitude is a real killer.
Oh my God, I was talking to Tori Kelly and she was like, I have to have a certain pH balance of water because I want my voice to be like.
Oh, see, I think of
No
Tori as like having the perfect
I've
consistent
never
every night.
every single night.
Same
Well,
peak,
also,
right?
Well,
Every other, I mean, I feel like it's so easy to look at something from the outside and it sounds the same to everybody else, but it's to
How
yourself.
it feels.
Yeah.
I know.
Ugh.
Oh, singers.
Can I
We're
ask a
so-
technical?
Singer talk.
Can I ask technical
Sure.
nerdy questions?
Yeah.
What was your like training process? Like what changed your singing? Like I can think of moments when when did you go from step A to B as a singer? Like anything stand out?
I started taking voice lessons in 8th grade, and she started training me classically. And I said, "Oh no, I'm an alto. I'm an alto." She said, "Oh, you're a soprano."
Yeah.
So she started me singing arias really young, and I think it changed me because it made me a more versatile singer, and it also gave me the foundation of technique that I think has saved me and kept me singing, to this point. And I've just I would say every 5 to 10 years or so, I meet a new voice teacher that just brings, ultimately they're all, this thing only works one way. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they all just sort of get you there in a different way. And sometimes you just need to hear it a different way or come at it from a different angle. And so I've just had some great teachers, and again, just paying attention to other singers and sort of taking, tidbits from them, asking questions.
Are there any singers any living dead that are are there specific ones that are the biggest influences?
On my singing? I mean, Aretha, Barbara,
Yeah.
Whitney,
Yeah.
Mariah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big four.
I have a
best
technical
ones.
question too.
Yeah.
So when you hit those the raspy high notes that sound so effortless and you can just hang on them, is that like a belt or is it a mix or is it a little bit of both?
If they're raspy, it's a belt.
It's about
If they're
work.
clean,
Because
it's a mix.
I can't believe you can belt that much.
That's so crazy.
Wow, that's really cool for you.
Way to go.
Kidding, you do the exact same thing. Don't even try it.
Thanks, Queen. Okay, what else? I want to do. Oh, I want to get into work ethic because your work ethic is one of the best.
Yes.
Where did you get that from? Was it the hunger to be successful? Was it like?
And does it only exist when it comes to what you're being creating, or is it other areas of your life too?
Oh, that's a good question. We should save
thank
that.
you.
What are the other areas?
Just I can only be exactly. Yeah, I can only be
Like with
passionate
my
about singing.
taxes?
No.
Like, I
I guess
don't know what
No, but
other
like
I
keeping
guess-
your house clean or decorating or blah, blah, or stuff like
yeah,
that.
or
No, when I start something, I finish it.
No matter what it
You're
is.
just that way
and
of
I
it.
finish. Like if I get an idea to do something, it's got to be done now.
Totally.
Can you push through when you're bored? Because that's something I struggle with.
I push through because I am a list maker, and if shit is on my list, it
You
makes
and
me
Rozzi.
crazy.
Are we the same person?
Y'all are the same.
That's really funny.
Basically, are you a Virgo?
No, I'm a Taurus.
I'm a Virgo though.
Everyone
Yes.
excluding me.
Sisters.
Virgo holes.
My work ethic, I think, looking back, comes from both of my parents. They're both extremely hard workers, very hard on themselves. Work, especially with my father, work comes first. I see a lot of my father and myself, and the sort of pushing through tired, making it a priority, working on vacations, not.
Wow.
And I think it comes from that innately, but it also comes from necessity. I don't have a team. I don't have people helping me out. Everything I do, I mean, I have an amazing assistant, obviously, in Jay, but I
don't
don't
have a manager or an
no,
agent?
I've got nothing. So everything, I have people who help me out.
Yeah.
I have a friend
Yeah.
who is a manager, so she negotiated
Yeah.
So
my
helps
waitress
her.
deal or
Yeah.
whatever.
Wait,
But-
that is
That's
of
really
you.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
not dope. It sucks, actually.
But it's
really
impressive.
freaking hard.
It's
So I don't have the luxury of taking my eye off the ball.
Why
so it's kind
do you
of
do that?
Oh, I wouldn't say that it's a choice.
What? Yeah.
I don't know how to address it, but it's not like I don't have.
Interesting.
Like, why did you start your own label? You wanted to be independent, or you felt like you weren't
to put
pursued?
out a record.
Oh, you
I
wanted-
wasn't pursued. I've never had label interest.
That's the dopest thing
is
ever.
the
Because so many people
craziest.
will like mope and be so sad. Like, labels don't want me. You were like, I'm gonna make my own record label,
I
and I'm gonna put
told you,
it. And then your
if I want to
independent
do
record like
something.
won awards.
No,
and stuff.
I am so inspired by that because I've been through 2 major labels and I've just been through the fucking ringer, honestly, of
Really?
what what a giant machine can do to you in both ways, really. And I just have come out so self-assured. If I've learned anything, it's that it comes from me. Like any of the things that I've got going on come from me. And I've met wonderful, incredible people along the way who have done life-changing things for me, no doubt. But ultimately, I'm driving, and I always have been driving the ship, which is, there's this illusion when you're a 19-year-old kid and you get signed that you're not in charge.
don't have to do anything.
Turns out I was always driving.
Yeah.
And so I'm so into that right now. I'm just like, do it. You're just like, take charge. Like, what are you doing? Like, and Scott, you're the same way, I will say. For as much as you guys have going on, you are you just do it. You don't wait.
Yeah.
You just do it.
I do remember being 18, being like, I want to get a label so then they can bring in all the creative people and they can make me a dope pop star. I remember thinking that. That's literally not how it works.
No, that's not how it works.
No,
I was
but
like,
it
you have
never-
to, you have to
yeah,
like
it looked
have
like
vision, and you have to like,
And
you have to like
you
really
have to know
like,
who you are, and you have to
know
be
you
in
are.
charge.
Yeah,
So you
and
guys feel
trust
like
to
you-
yourself. You have to trust yourself. I was
Totally.
always like, I'm kind of cheesy. I'm kind of campy. And like, I would like always put like these like labels on myself and be like, and there's people who are actual artists, and I'm kind of faking it. Everyone feels that, and I feel like finally, actually, in the last few months, I've been very like, know what I'm doing, and I'm just gonna do
you
it
do.
now.
Literally
Yeah.
just in the last few months. That's crazy.
It took me 27 years again.
Well, thank God you got it early. 'Cause, man, it could have taken longer. That's beautiful.
Yeah. No, that's so impressive. Okay, so
I love you.
I love you. I love that you're talking about my work ethic. You
No,
have
'cause
like
it's insane.
9,000 projects going on. Jesus.
Wait, so you really run your whole situation. That's so
You're
inspiring.
your whole camp.
It's awful. You should see all of the spreadsheets on my computer.
But
you should
you-
see the Google
Okay, so are
Docs.
we
I don't
different
know even-
in
I
this
don't
way?
even know how
Because
to use
I mean, yes, sometimes it's exhausting, but I am just like a type A monster, and I die for making a schedule. Like, part of me like kind of thinks that's fun. Do you not feel that way?
Yes, yes, and no. It's
fun to get it out of your
because my
head.
brain. Yes,
Yeah.
It's good to get it out of your mind and down. But yeah, I think right now I'm like, can I just be in Waitress and do Waitress? Can I just have one job right now? But I have all these other projects that I started before
Right.
Waitress happened, and so I'm
Right.
kind of like trying to give them like some of my attention. And right now I just want to like revel in this experience and be here and be present and enjoy these people, because I know that it's only going to be a moment. And so I'm kind of resenting those lists
Right,
and those docs.
right, I
But
get that.
ordinarily, you know, I have to keep the machine moving.
Right, I get that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, that's the end of part 1 of our conversation with Shoshana Bean. Tune in next time for part 2.